I'm visible, audible to everyone.
Yeah, we can see you.
Lovely. Now, let's begin the session with the prayer. Come into the sitting posture. Go into your asana. Remove your glasses. Gently close your eyes and go into your posture. Take the moment to connect yourself to your posture, to your asana. Now, once you're connected and comfortable within your posture, take a deep, prolonged, slow inhalation. Deep, prolonged, slow exhalation. Inhale and exhale from the belly. Now, inhale for the 3 times Om along with Shanti. Inhale for the Om. 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 Shanti. 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 Feel the vibration. Feel the sensation. Join your both palms. Tap your palm. Place on your eyes. Very slowly while blinking, looking at your palm. Gently open up your eyes with a great smile and go down. Feel the gratitude towards the surrounding and then say Shanti. Shanti to everyone. So let's begin the session. So preview. In previous session, previous class, we talked about that three malas, three doshas, Agni, then three malas, Ama, and the Saptadhatu. The Saptadhatu, the formation of the Saptadhatu. Through the ahar, through the food, the formation of the Saptadhatu is happening. And what is the cause of the main, whatever problems we are having? So, physical level, psychological level, psychosomatic level, whatever the problems we are having modern than in the past, it's basically imbalance between the three doshas, Agni, Malas, your Mal, then production of the Ama in the body. That is the main cause of our suffering, our sickness, our illness on every level of the illness. So, how we can correct it? So this is the whole session about how the diseases are formed. What is the main cause of why we're getting this sickness? Because of these things are going around us. Okay. So once we understand the disease formation, the sickness, which is causing the illness, now we can talk about the treatment. The treatment, before talking about the treatment, we have to also understand the personalities. Because according to the personality, we provide the treatment. Though across the world, all the people have physiological, psychological problems. But the solution would be varied according to their persona, according to their behavior pattern, which climate they are living, which circumstances they are living. According to that, we provide the treatment. So before starting the treatment, we have to understand their Prakarti. Prakarti is their behavior pattern. So today's session is about the personality. Okay. So we call it in Sanskrit Prakarti. I'll share you the notes related to that. What are the Prakartis? How many types of the Prakartis? We're gonna talk in detail. So you can take the screenshot. I'll keep sharing, or you can write it down. So let's, and this one thing more, you have to write it down. And Asthai Prakriti. Asthai the now. So Prakriti, Prakarti, Prakriti, the pronunciation. The Prakriti means, if more closer meaning in English, that is personality. Personality means how you behave, how you look like, everything. The way you behave, the way you look like, your body structure, your bone structure, your way of talking, your way of walking, the way you talk, the way you understand the things, the way you perceive the world, that makes you different from the rest of the people, right? Though we call ourselves human, right? on the biological level, we are same, but on the surface level, but in the deeper level, we are individuals. What makes you individual? That is your Prakriti, your personality. Now, Ayurveda Swami Vagbharji in Ashtanga Hridayam talked about it, and especially other, scriptures, which is other yogis who did the research over this Ayurveda, they also talked about, they give the importance to the personalities, and they talked about it according to the each individual, we have to provide the treatment. So Ayurveda and others, the natural way of treatment, believe that each one of you, you are the different being. And according to that, so doctor, yoga therapists, they understand that individuality difference, and they figure out and they provide the treatment according to that. So as I already told you, you would not be the yoga therapist, you would not be Ayurvedic doctor. For that, you require the doctor help. Okay? But at least you get some idea about it. So let's begin with it. Prakritis are the two types. Moola Prakriti, M-O-O-L, Moola Prakriti. So first is Moola, which another name of that Moola Prakriti is the Sthai Prakriti. This is the same, Sthai, the pronunciation, Sthai Prakriti, S-T-A-Y-A-I, Sthai Prakriti, Moola Prakriti or Sthai Prakriti. You can either say Moola or the Sthai. Okay, same name. Second Prakriti is the Asthai Prakriti. It's surface level we are giving the division. Moola Prakriti and Asthai Prakriti. Okay. What is the Moola Prakriti and Asthai Prakriti? And that combination of these two make the Sapta Prakriti. Okay. The different ratio. So we're gonna discuss later on the Sapta Prakriti, 7 types of the personality. Sapta means 7, number 7. S-A-P-T, Sapta. But we have to stick to the right now Moola Prakriti and Asthai Prakriti. Pronunciation Moola, Sthai. Okay. Then Asthai, Asthai. So please write it down in your language phonetics, Asthai Prakriti. Sthai and Asthai. This is the basic division. Now, I'll stop sharing it. Let's talk about this two things. Now, Moola Prakriti. What is the Moola Prakriti? Moola Prakriti, which makes you, you are the half of your father and half of the mother is composing you, the chromosome, right? Half of you're coming from your father, half of you're coming from mother. So that the past, this is your past, your mother and your father is making you. Their union makes you, right? Now the Moola Prakriti, how you made it, that is the part of the Moola Prakriti. So father, factors of the Moola Prakriti, which make you you. Your father and your mother, parents factor, okay, which is again in the womb, everything is decided, how you look like, what way, your body structure, it is already decided in the womb of your mother. What kind of eye color you would be having, that is again decided. So that is a Moola Prakriti. Then other factor, climate factor. First, write it down. Moola Prakriti's factor. First, parent factor. You are the copy of your parent. we always have the dispute with our parents, but basically we are copying them. Okay. If you observe your way of behavior pattern, subconscious or unconscious way, you are very much behaving like your parents. You feel like, no, we are different, but actually you are doing the same thing the way your parents did in your. That's why they are stopping you, that don't do these mistakes. Exceptional, there's a very exceptional cases when you, like sometimes you behave more like your mother, sometimes you behave like more like your father. Okay, so that is the ratio would be different, because two things make the third thing. It look like new thing, but actually it is not new. Okay, but because it has the imprint on the base level, it has the mixture. Whenever you mixing the two things together, the new things come up, right? It look like new things, but actually it is the procreation. It is the upgradation, you can say like that. But basic level, you are the same. So first factor is parent factor. Second factor is your climate factor, where your parents are living, your ancestors are living, generation to generation. You're like, you are European, you born in the European culture, European countries. So if you travel across the world, people are saying, oh, you are Australian. You never learn to be Australian, but your persona, your look tells everybody. Like if I travel across the world, nobody say me like, oh, you are African or other being. They tell me, oh, you are Indian. How they come to know? Without telling them, they come to know that I'm Indian. Why? Because my way of speaking, I'm not pretending these things, but it is imbibed within me. So climate factor. Climate is also related with the culture. So through my ancestor, like generation to generation, I get this color, this look, this skin texture, right? My features, if you see, I have the Indian features. What make you European? Because you have that features. So climate is very much important, which decide your Mula Prakriti, which you carry generation to generation. And then you born with it. Doesn't matter you accept, I can deny myself, I would not be Indian, but my whole personality is speaking by itself. I'm Indian. But for example, my parents moved to the European countries and they start living there, and then I born in England or Canada. But it gonna change my personality? No. I would be same. I born with the Indian looks. Why? Because it takes generation to generation, many generation, to bring the climate in that. Many generation. And when it's come to your generation, we don't know. We cannot, maybe the scientists are doing the research over there. You can do the research, you can find out. But days accurate time, maybe modern scientists can figure out the accurate time if we change one, when the upcoming generation would be having the climate factor in the Mula Prakriti. So maybe modern scientists can do the research over that thing. You can search on these things if they are doing any research. So it will take many generations. So to get the climate factor in my upcoming generation, it will take many, many, many years or many my upcoming generation, right? So climate factor is the most important factor. It's not gonna change if you suddenly change your place or your climate or your country, okay? You would be carrying the same imprint. Now, third factor is ancestor factor. I born with Indian things. I cannot exclude myself. I cannot Either I deny completely, but I have my ancestor things. It is in my DNA. My behavior pattern is coded by my ancestor. You know, sometime my mom, when she scolded me, like everybody's tall in my family, but I got the short height because one of my ancestors having the short height. So could you believe? Even I get that. So you never know what you get from your ancestor, but you always having your ancestor factors. You are carrying that thing. So your ancestor factor, climate factor, and your parent factor. Now, Moola Prakriti, these three factors are which is make you. Even you can do the little bit more research over that. Modern scientists, the biologists, and those who study the gene, right? Talking about gene and the cell, they did the research over these things that whatever we are carrying, we're carrying not only the disease but the habit also. We're carrying the habit. We are transferring that to our upcoming generation. Our habit. It is in the DNA. And when it's come into the favorable situation, favorable circumstances, it gonna open up. So even habit of smoking, drinking, or one kind of, like I have the munching habit and I never know how I get, but because my parent or my sister used to have that thing. Later on, it discovered by the talk when they are telling the stories. So even through that, you're carrying the habit, not only the disease, but you're carrying the habit also. The question rises here, can we change the Moola Prakriti? Yes, Asian time, yes. Now I cannot say. Depend if those practices still continue, maybe we can bring the change in the Moola Prakriti. The changes which is bring in the Moola Prakriti is the position of the star, the moon. We used to have the big, that called Garba Sanskara. I'm just giving the name, you can forget about it, that name, it's not much important. Garba Sanskara is the practice when like parents are deciding what kind of baby they wanna have. Right now, people, if you go into the hospitals, they do the artificial examination, like they get the baby, they can pre-plan their baby, what kind of eye color. People are doing the research over that, right? I think doctors are doing these things. What kind of eye color and what kind of skin they want, the white skin baby, or what kind of eye color they want. They're doing those things. But Asian time, it's not, they're not doing these things. They are doing one thing, the behavior to have the great king, especially the ancient king, the queen, because king, they pass their position generation to generation. So upcoming king should be a brave, strong, who can, rule over the world. That thing they have to make it. They have to imbibe in their baby. So how they imbibe? Through the custom, through the Garba Sanskara, one kind of practice where they check the position of the star and the moon position, sun position, and these yogis who predict that this position mating time, during the mating time, they decide the mating time of the king and the queen, and they perfect date they figure out. This is a huge um, practice, but only rich people can afford it, right? Not you and me. Common people not able to afford these things. But yes, yogis, and they calculate the position of the star and these things, and they practice the meditation. They do the Yajna Kriya. Yajna Kriya is like in Bali, and in the school, we always start the, when we start the upcoming session, we start with the fire. That is the Yajna Kriya. But that is the small version, tiny version. But it has to be, Asian time, it has to be a big version. So they do the Havan Kriya, Yajna Kriya, and where they give the food to the fire. Okay. And then many yogis, they get together and they do the prayer, they do the meditation. And even the parents who are deciding what kind of baby they're gonna have, they also do the practice of meditation, chanting, or it could be any method. Okay, whatever they are, the yogis are giving them the method. And so this character, this modification in their character, this calmness, this peacefulness, this strength they imbibe when they meet, they mating together, they transfer to the baby. So this mating point, even it's right now we are focusing on after the birth of the baby, but actually we have to focus on what condition we are carrying in our mind when we are mating, when we are procreating the upcoming generation. That is the most important point. That's why many people are they are having sick baby, because they are not correcting that point. If you're aware of that time, you're conscious about your action, and you correct, even if you don't calculate the position of the star or the moon or other things, even modern scientists start believing that moon has the effect on in the environment. So our body is made of the same things. Somehow it's related. So moon also have the impact on ourselves. So when mating is happening, that's also most important factor. Stars and the moon position. But even if you skip that part, because we are not having that thing right now, most of the scriptures are we lost because of many invasion in our countries. We lost that practice. So what we can do now, you can, if you want a baby, if you want to bring the healthy baby into your life, then you have to focus on this point, not after the birth of the baby, the time when you are mating. So the good quality of the semen should be there. The parents should be correct themselves. They do the practice of the meditation. They practice the yoga, any kind of yoga or any kind of practice they are doing it. So these character, this modification in your personality, you're gonna transfer to your baby. You're gonna catch, you create that kind of energy around you, which you will get the energy. We all want our yogis. In now, we require, this whole environment required the more yogis. And we are not able to produce the more yogis because we all are sick. Because our seed are rotten. When seed are rotten, as I told you, if semen is affected, that seed is rotten, it will not give the healthy tree. You implanting the bad seed in the bad soil, then you cannot imagine. This is an impossible thing. That tree would be healthy. No, it's impossible. The tree always be the rotten. The bitter fruits will be, he will carry. Sickness will be carried. But yes, then he gonna choose. That is another other things. But we cannot tell, we cannot, this is an impossible thing. We implant everything wrong way, and then we praying to the God, oh please God, our baby would be a yogi or they would be, and then we blaming to them. No dear, this is the wrong way. We have given everything to them. And because our wrong action, they also carry the wrong action. Wrong way of thinking, wrong way of perceiving the world. So unconsciously, we are implanting the bad traits. We are implanting the sickness. So this is the huge responsibility. Asian time also, people are aware, and that's why whenever they procreate anything, they do the lots of meditation. Yogis, the whole life they follow the brahmacharya, but when they indulge into the procreation, they do more meditation, because that's how the good semen give the good, more yogis to the environment. So you have to, this is a huge responsibility to everybody. If you cannot correct yourself, you cannot, you know, you cannot follow the path of the yoga or the Ayurveda. So don't add more burden to the nature. Stop making the mistakes, because then upcoming generation, they will carry, they go through the pain and suffering even without their fault. So parents have the huge responsibility. I've seen many people, they want a baby, but they don't have time to spend the time with their babies. The other, maids, housemaids are taking care of their baby. I don't know what kind of they want, just because of social pressure. And if you become the parents, you have to be a great parent. Give time, give love, lots of affection towards that life. You actually created the wonderful life. Now the mistake is done, okay, but again you can do lots of things. Then after giving the birth, Mula Prakriti also you can change through this thing. But if you skip that part after giving the birth to the child, still you can change the circumstances, and you can change the outside environment. You can provide the yogic environment and let the baby decide if he wanted or she wanted to live in that environment or not. That is also their view. Okay, you cannot do much help in that condition. They're gonna choose it. So give the freedom to them to choose the path of the yoga or Ayurveda or other things. You can just guide them. So this is the Mula Prakriti, which make you this personality, the way of you, how you behave. Okay, this is never gonna change. The Mula Prakriti, especially your personality, the way you look like, it's never gonna change. Okay. Now come to the Asthai Prakriti, the second one. Asthai Prakriti means Mula Prakriti, permanent. Permanent. Asthai means impermanent. Impermanent, permanent, and impermanent. Impermanent factors are, again, there is one factor, the first factor, the way you are living your life, how you are living your life. This is the one factor. For example, you are born with a kapha personality. So kapha attributes and traits are, they are heavy in the nature. They always overweight. But can they lose the weight? Yes, they can lose the weight, but they have to do the lots of hard work. If they do the hard work, they maintain their diet, they they practice daily the yoga routine, then they can control their weight. So their lifestyle, if they maintain their lifestyle, they can maintain it. But yes, they have to put more effort than the other rest of the personalities. So lifestyle, the way of one is their routine, then their diet, their diet is also playing important role. If they're eating the fast food, pizza, pasta, so do you think you remain healthy? Like we imagine, I've seen people around me, okay? They are just doing nothing, lying on the bed, and they're talking about their health, okay? And they always order the pizza and other things, fast food they're eating. And then they talked about, okay, I would be healthy, and, and they're just watching the Netflix and the movies, and they imagine about their health. They're never gonna be healthy. Can you imagine? Can you be healthy? Because for health, you required to change your diet, to change your lifestyle. If you change that thing, automatically you will be healthy. If you're not changing, you would be unhealthy. Simple. But I don't know why, and I'm talking about those people who are very educated, very well civilized person, and they do not understand the concept of the health, that this concept of the health is not getting the insurance, not visiting to the hospital, getting checked your all the medical checkup. This is not, through this you cannot maintain your health. Through changing your way of living and your eating habit, you can maintain the health. But I don't know, they don't understand. So this is the factors of a sthayi prakriti. Then climate factor. Climate factor is the play most important role in Mula Prakriti also, permanent Prakriti, and a sthayi Prakriti, both. In a sthayi Prakriti, let's understood by the example. For the instance, a sthayi, like for example, I'm right now living in the Delhi right now. So Delhi is very, right now, there's a very hot, lots of heat outside. So that heat are giving me burning, rashes. When I go to the sunlight, it burn my skin. What happened? The outside environment is affecting my skin. When in the raining season, same Delhi, it brings the humidity to my skin. Then my skin sweat a lot and have the humidity. Then in winter, it becomes dry, completely dry. So when the season is changing, my skin type is also changing. And this happen across the world. Doesn't matter where you're living, when climate is changing, your skin, your eating habit is also changing. In the summer, you want everything cold. In winter, you want everything hot. Why? Because the climate influencing you. So climate, and according to that, we have seasonal fruits, seasonal vegetables, right? Seasonal drinks. So our diet also changed. So Ayurveda say, according to the season, one should consume the fruits and the vegetables, whatever is growing around you. That is because nature is, it work in the wonderful way. If there's a winter, they will give you the warm fruits and the vegetable. If there's a summer, it will provide you the cool astringent vegetables, which cool down your heat. This is a miraculous thing. Nature work in its own way. Just follow the nature and you will take care of all the things. So Sthai Prakriti, the climate also is playing very important role. So whenever we provide the treatment, we change the climate also. If, for example, we are providing the treatment, you're going to understand when we are treating to the Sapta Prakriti, we're going to cover in the tomorrow class. Tomorrow, I think, is Sunday. So Monday, we will start the Sapta Prakriti. And then you're able to understand how we can, this climate, how we can, help through the change of the climate, we can provide the treatment. So question answer time. Any doubt, any difficulty to understanding the Mula Prakriti and the Sthai Prakriti? And these two things you have to understand. And yes, both Mula and Asthai. Mula you can change before consuming the baby. After that, you cannot bring the change. Okay. Yes, circumstances also play the role. Then it's come into the Asthai Prakriti. You change the environment, you change the society, baby listen those things, baby perceive those things, it's gonna change the baby, the way of speaking, the way of accent, then other things also. That is a part of the Asthai Prakriti. You move the places, you move the circumstances, Asthai Prakriti played role. But Mula Prakriti, it's not gonna change your baby features, the color, and the nature. The unconscious level, the baby get the nature, like your baby is shy or hyperactive, that not gonna change. It doesn't matter how you move one places to the other places. But yes, through the yoga, through the other things, we bring the balance into it. But they put lots of effort. You understand this thing when we talked about the Sapta. But Mula Prakriti and Sthai Prakriti is clear to everyone. Any doubt?
One question.
Hmm.
So for Yogi, when Yogi is born, their Mool Prakriti is always balanced and their Asthai Prakriti can be up down, which they can work on with time. Is this the case, or like is it possible their Mool Prakriti is also some maybe not in balance?
Here we are not talking about the balance and imbalance in the Mula Prakriti and Asthai. It's a characteristic which they carry. Like when Yogi is born, they are not born with the Yogi's quality, right? But they are their body because it's like their fate or something like that. For example, when Lord Buddha born, so there is a the perfect combination is happening in the star moon position. Everything is so perfect. His mother is perfectly healthy and everything is line up. So this give the chance to give the birth to the Lord Buddha. But he not born with the Lord Buddha, right? So that time he is having all the attributes, all the qualities which the parents are carrying. His parents also having the flaws and the other problems, anger issue, like his father is having the lots of temperament issues, okay, which he also carried forward. He also, in childhood and when he getting into the teenager age, he's also getting the anger issues, lots of anger issues. But when he followed the path of the yoga and when he starts searching who am I and what is my purpose, because his factor, the Mula Prakriti factor, is forcing him to go towards the spirituality. So why you have joined the yoga course on other things, why you attracted towards it? Because somehow you have that sheet, your ancestor, your parents, and even in that case, your past life, maybe. I don't want to include that part, but I have to. Because of that, it's forcing you towards it. It doesn't mean that you are perfect, baby. Nobody is born with the perfection. Nobody. There's some incident which is given by the Ashtavakra. He's a great yogi, Ashtavakra, but he's physically damaged because of he get the one curse from his parents. So physical, problem he born with the physical problem. Then if you look towards the modern, yogis, modern yogis like Ramdev Baba or the Sadguru or many names, how they move towards the path of the yoga. I'm not telling they are yogi or not yogi, but why they took this yoga path? Because the whole force, the whole nature is forcing them to go on that path. But they are not born with the perfection. It doesn't mean they're born with the perfection. But yes, force the perfect, the calculation of the environment, the nature, which we are talking about in the Mula Prakriti, it means only one thing, that you create that kind of nature around the parents mating, so they can catch that kind of energy who would be bring the great change in the society. It could be, they can be a great king or the yogi who can influence many people. That kind of environment you are creating, and you're gonna provide that environment to those. If we believe in the soul, we are providing that environment to that soul or that energy which come to the womb of the mother. That's the only one thing. But it doesn't mean they just, since childhood, they are born with everything and they get the perfection or everything. They learn with the situation, circumstances, and through the society, social, and through their life. So when it take the time, short, maybe like Ashtavakra, at the age of 13, he get liberation. Lord Buddha at the age of 30, he get the liberation. 35 or 33, something like that. So he get the liberation. Depend the personality, how much time he required. But there is no born perfection. Like you born with the yogi quality. You have this push, and then you look for the answers. That only gonna happen. But born yogi concept, right now, maybe I didn't get any one example. There's many yogis, but they never born with those qualities. Like they've just, through the childhood, they are just born yogi. Even Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, through their life, they learn, they practice the meditation, and then they become the yogi. Through their action, then world acknowledge it. Even God, we have many stories about the God, right? Even Lord Shiv, if we say Adinath Yogi, but he also become the yogi through the practice. There's no way without any practice you get the perfection, you get the perfect health or anything. You have to put the effort into it to get it. It is not the easy way. It is always the hard way, especially in terms of the practice, hard way, okay? The practice could be easy or the difficult. I hope you understand this thing.
Yes, thank you.
Any doubts more? So let's end the session here. We're gonna, with the prayer, come into the sitting posture. Keep your back neck straight, aligned. Gently close your eyes. Go into your asana. Take the moment to connect yourself with your posture. Once you connected, move your awareness towards deep, prolonged, slow inhalation, deep, prolonged, slow exhalation. Inhale and exhale. Now, inhale for the 3-time Om along with Shanti. Take a deep breath. Om. 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 Shanti. 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 Feel the vibration and sensation. Join your palm. Rub your palm. Place on your eyes. Feel the warmness. Very slowly while blinking, looking at your palm. Gently open up your eyes with a deep smile. Go down. Feel the gratitude towards everything, small or the big. And feel Shanti. Shanti. Bye-bye. Take care and enjoy your weekend. And
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.